Lynnie with Sunflower Spirit Tarot, and I'm here with a message for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. This is a general message, so whatever I see is what I'm going to read, but it's typically going to be about your attachment to someone or something specific, okay? All right, benevolent ancestors, guardian angels, spirit guides, those that come to us in and through unconditional love only. What are the messages for Taurus at this time? Apparently, I can't shuffle today. Let's keep trying. All right, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and any other significant placements. What are the most important messages, predictions, and happenings to, for, from, about, and around Taurus at this time? What do they need to know, see, and be aware? Know, see, and be aware of from the time they view this video moving forward. All right, let's do a couple more and then we'll get started. And one more. 9 cards for Taurus, please. Spirit, comfort, confirmation, or clarity. Whatever it is that they need, let's give it to them at this time. At the bottom of the deck, Queen of Swords, okay? The Queen of Swords represents feminine air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. You might have some of that in your chart. You might be dealing with the feminine air sign. All right, let's see. First card out, we got the 9 of Chalices with the 7 of Chalices and the Ace of Chalices. Very interesting. A lot of emotion right off the bat. So this is definitely a romantic or a love issue. Yeah, we got the 2 of Cups right there. Oh, so much emotion. We got the Fool. We have the Death card. Okay, this is going to be a very specific message, this first part that I'm about to say. Some of you might be struggling with infertility, or you might be trying to get pregnant and it's not happening for you. Okay, 6 of Cups, overall energy. This is like soulmate energy. This is also past life energy, past love energy, nostalgia, but it also represents children and childhood. I feel like this really centers around children in some way, or your ability to conceive children, the fact that you may already have children, you want children and don't have children, something like that. There's something about children. This is very specific. Okay, so clarifying the 6 of Cups, we have the 5 of Swords, the 10 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands. Okay, somebody's frustrated, but they haven't given up. Okay, they feel like they have run out of options when it comes to something. Like there's nothing else that we can do, or there's nothing else that we can, like we can't make this work or something. Like there's nothing else that's going to come from this. Somebody feels like they have to make a choice. Okay, if you are struggling with like getting pregnant or keeping a pregnancy in some way, shape, or form, I will say that that's what's creating some sort of disconnect between you and your partner. I do honestly feel like if you are in pain from not being able to maintain a pregnancy or bring a child into the world or even adopt, or whatever the process is that you and your partner are trying to see through so that you can bring children into your life, for some reason it's not working out how it was supposed to. Now, that's not to say it won't ever work out, but what I will say is that it's causing someone, either you or the person that you're with, a significant amount of pain, okay? And what they want to do at this point is to end that process. They don't want to try anymore. This reminds me, I know a lot of people don't like the Kardashians, but this reminds me of like Kourtney Kardashian trying to get pregnant with Travis Barker, who's like her current husband, right? And sorry if you guys don't like pop culture. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. This is just an example. So don't go too deep into it, is what I'm trying to say. And they were trying all of these natural remedies, and then eventually I think they moved over to IVF and still didn't get pregnant. And then eventually she got pregnant naturally on her own without any of the assistance from any of the other things, after deciding to stop trying because it was so devastating. It was so difficult to keep trying and trying and trying and trying. You can only stay hopeful for so long. And I feel like it's a really difficult part of a lot of couples' journeys that a lot of people don't really speak to enough. It's like when you think that you're supposed to get, you find your person, fall in love, get married, and have children, right? Everybody thinks that that's supposed to be a part of their journey. And for some people, it won't be. For some people, it's not biological children. For some people, it's not human children, right? We all have these little fur babies and things like that. But for some people, even the process of trying to conceive or trying to have a child or more children, it's so draining and so difficult, especially for the feminine in a female body. You're the one who has to undergo all of this testing and all of this poking and all of this prodding and all these hormones, all this stuff that is so invasive to your body and that throws off the natural rhythms and systems of your body, right? And it's all of these like kind of interventions that have made women who were previously infertile or unable to bear children, it gives them an opportunity to do so. But it also creates a lot of hope in places where maybe, women aren't supposed to be carrying children, or maybe you're not supposed to have biological children. Maybe you're being called to adopt or called to foster, or things like that. And it's a difficult and really frustrating journey for the feminine and female body, because we're taught a lot of the time that our whole womanhood and all of our femininity is wrapped up in our ability to conceive a child, right? We think that from a very young age that that's what we're supposed to do. That is our only biological function. A lot of people think very in very binary ways. Either you are an independent, strong woman who goes out and gets money and does her own thing and never has a family, right? Or you are somebody who is so devoted to their family and is always barefoot and pregnant and having all these kids and just totally a devoted mother. Like, you can't, intersect those two ideas for most people, in most people's brains. And for that reason, it's like women are almost forced to feel like they have to choose between their own dreams, their own goals, their own desires, and being a mother, right? And being a wife and motherhood and all of these other things. These lives can intersect, right? What I feel like is happening here is that there's a generally, successful feminine, right? Who cannot figure out why this particular part of her journey is so difficult and why it's so devastating and why it's so hard. Something that just came to me is that this person may not have ever even wanted children. This person might not have ever even put any real thought into having children. It wasn't until until they got into a relationship with the masculine that they're with that they even thought about wanting children or thought about conceiving a child if they're physically able to do so. And for some reason, it's not working out. And I just feel like it's one of those things that asks you to step back and reflect. Is this desire something that is truly reflective of what you want? Or are you so conditioned as a feminine to cater to what the masculine is asking you for, right? Because they want a legacy, because they want children, they want a family. Being able to conceive children or not being able to conceive children doesn't make you any more or less of the woman that you feel you are. I just want that to come from my heart to yours. I need you to understand that even though you're having difficulty with this, I do feel like you should put that energy back into your relationship. So all of the energy that you were using, I feel, to have children or bring children into your life in some capacity, or to expand your family in some way. I'm not really sure exactly if this is totally speaking about children, but I have so many symbols of children here. So I'm just going to speak to this. This might be like I said, this might be a super specific message just for one person out here. And if I'm helping you, if I'm, providing you with some clarity or some confirmation or something, I'm happy to do it. So I'm just going to keep speaking as if this is talking about a feminine in a female body who is attempting to conceive children or bring children into her family. I'm not trying to exclude anybody, but you guys, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I feel like all of the energy that you've been putting into into bringing children into your life, you should now be pouring back into yourself and back into your relationship. It's possibly just not time for this to happen yet. Once again, I can't predict the future. I can only tell you what is in your energy right now. And as of right now, the path that you're walking, I feel like, is draining you. It's creating a lot of confusion. And it's also creating almost like this ego death. It's almost like you're realizing that your femininity and your womanhood doesn't depend on whether or not you can bear children or have children or raise children. You're realizing that you are so much more of a whole person outside of this quest for creating life and bringing children into your life, okay? I feel like you're with a very passionate masculine. He's coming up as the King of Wands here, which is masculine fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. One of my favorite cards in the deck, because this is somebody who is truly an individual. They don't give a damn what anybody else thinks. They might be, quite non-traditional in the way that they view life, even if they still want a traditional life, like the American dream type thing, quote unquote. This person is not afraid to say how they feel and be who they are and express themselves. And so I think that having a partner like this really allows you to kind of free your mind from this concept that you're supposed to do this. If you're a woman, you're supposed to be able to have children. If you're a woman, you're supposed to blah, 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 whatever, all these other little things. Because this person doesn't conform to gender norms. This person doesn't give a damn about any of that stuff. And maybe, maybe they did want children. And maybe they did want children with you. But I don't think that not being able to bring children into your lives is going to hurt this person or hurt your marriage or hurt your relationship to this person. I don't think that you're letting this person down. I don't think that you're upsetting this person. I don't think that this person is going to walk away from you or chop your head off like Henry VIII for not bringing a male heir into his life. You know, sometimes we typically think about things in extremes. I feel like you need to totally open up to your partner at this time. Let them know exactly how you feel about this journey that you've been on. Let them know that you feel trapped, that you feel suffocated, that you feel like there's nothing else you can do, that you feel like there's nothing else you want to invest in this journey, and that you want to pour all of it back into yourself and back into your relationship with this person. I do think that they'll understand. So let's clarify the King of Wands. Actually, I'm interested in this energy here. The Sun. This person is so loving, so warm, so giving, so creative, and so masculine in a beautiful, beautiful way. And when I mean by masculine, I don't mean macho, I don't mean performative, I don't mean alpha male type stuff. This is a real masculine. This is a masculine who's going to love you, who's going to embrace you, and who's going to continue to experience joy with you, with or without children being in the picture. They understand that you need rest. With the Justice card at the bottom of the deck, they understand that you're tired, that you're exhausted. But I feel like it would really help them a lot if you communicated that with them. Just say, look, I wanted this because you wanted this. Or maybe I wanted this my whole life, and it's not happening for me right now. So instead of investing all of this time, effort, energy, and money into making this thing happen, into forcing something that's just not happening, maybe we should just enjoy our lives together. I think that this person would agree with you, to be honest. To be totally and fully and completely honest, I think this person would agree with you. I think that the burden of this has put so much unnecessary stress on your relationship. It's crazy. Let's talk about the Two of Cups for Taurus, please. We have the Empress and the Priest. Okay, so maybe like I said, in some ways you are learning that your femininity is not contingent upon whether or not you can bring children into the world. It's not contingent upon whether you raise children or devote your life to a family. Your femininity is strong. Look at this Empress card. This Empress card is so atypical. It's so abnormal compared to other Empress cards. Typically the Empress is sad and in a luxurious position, and she has abundance and soft things and beautiful things all around her. This Empress is fully armored up. She's ready for battle. She's ready for war. Maybe your femininity doesn't express itself in the same motherly, maternal, soft, nurturing kind of way that other women's does. And I'm not saying that you're less of a woman for that. You're not. Maybe your femininity is expressed in a different way. Maybe it's a lot more fierce. Maybe it's a lot more independent. Maybe it's a lot more, look, I'm willing to die for what I believe in. And honestly, I don't think that you feel like this is worth dying for. You don't feel like this is worth continuing to fight for. Let's clarify the Death card. I do think that you are learning so much about your womanhood and your femininity in general, and you're coming into a stronger sense of femininity and what that means for you. Not what society has placed, not the value that society has placed on that. The Emperor here. The Emperor coming out with the Death card means you are releasing control. You are learning to surrender. You are learning to understand that no, you are not trapped indefinitely. No, you aren't left without any other options and just having to jump off of this cliff. You are so content and comfortable in the way that you feel right now. And I understand that you may not be watching this thinking that you have reached a conclusion in your mind about whether or not you're going to keep trying or not keep trying. But I do feel like whatever decision you make, you will feel very secure in that. I think, like I said, what's happening here is letting go of control. That's what the universe is asking you to do, to surrender your will to the divine. Okay, and what does that mean for those of you who don't speak, spiritual, gibberish? It means that you have to let go of your desire to control the outcome of this journey. Okay, you have to let go of your desire to control the ways in which other people contribute or the ways in which your life is lived. That's outside of your control. Okay, you can only control what you're doing, who you are, how you show up in the world. Whether or not you're able to conceive, whether or not you're able to have children, whether or not you're able to raise children, is sometimes not in your hands. And I know that sometimes that might seem unfair because it seems like people are out here popping out babies left and right, and some people are, right? But that's their thing. Don't compare yourself to other people and trying to keep up with other people or some idea of what society expects you to be as a woman. Okay, let go of control and let go of that need to control how you show up as a woman and just show up as authentically you. Okay, let's clarify the stars here. We got the Three of Pentacles, okay? It looks like you have a very strong relationship here, or that you're building a very strong relationship. I think that you have a partnership that you can count on, but I also think that there's a community that really needs you. And I do think that there will be children in your life at some point. Seven of Pentacles is a card that talks about wealth, gratitude, abundance, investments, and things that pay off over time. Not things that are instantly gratifying, but things that happen when the time is right, okay? I do think that there is a child or children in your future. It could be a son with the Prince of Chalices coming up here. I don't think that you should abandon your desire for motherhood if you truly have one. But I think that trying to force a situation that's not happening right now is counterproductive and counterintuitive. There's something that you're building right now that Spirit really wants you to focus on and pay attention to, okay? Because this is going to be the key to unlock all of the things that you think that you want in your life. I think that you're in a very synergistic partnership with the person that you're with. Specifically, I'm talking about this King of Wands. If you are in partnership with this King of Wands, I think that you are in a position or a place in your life where it's not time yet, okay? There's a time and place for everything, and you cannot control divine timing. Things happen when they're supposed to happen, how they're supposed to happen, when they're supposed to happen. And not everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that certain things, especially something as important to you as becoming a parent, becoming a mother, starting a family, or enhancing your family, is so important to you that it has to happen at the right time. Honestly, I think that you might have been using this journey as a way to distract yourself from what it is that you're supposed to be building right now. You're supposed to be devoting yourself to a community or building a community, being the leader of a community, potentially even online. I'm not really sure, but there's something here about the work that you do, projects that you're working on, your career path. That's what you need to be focused on right now. I need you to embody more of this Empress and less of the Empress that's just surrounded by children and babies and motherhood and that sort of thing. Embody your femininity fully and don't allow it to be dictated to you by society's rules or anybody else. Because the person that you love, the partner that you're with, they don't care nothing about none of that. All right, that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope that this was helpful or enlightening in some way. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll be with you next time.